The Google Pixel 5, a phone that's carving a new genre in the phone market with bleeding-edge software, competitive pricing, whilst maintaining its crown of best smartphone camera. Yep, mid-tier phones are now knocking on Google's door. Is its price and features right for you? Welcome everyone, my name is Chris and this is my review of the Pixel 5. Never before has there been an important junction in time for Google to prove that it not only knows how to make great software but also great hardware that consumers actually want to buy. The Pixel lineup has often been lamented for its outdated silicon, clunky designs and more premium pricing without the fit and finish of say like Samsung phones. This year, Google has kept things simple for the Pixel 5 with just two color offerings, just black and sort of sage. In years past, you had the choice of sort of this, sort of that, and an XL version, with me especially affectionate of the white version, which I actually own. But alas, they've simplified production to focus their efforts in 2020 and I think help restore some lost confidence from its 2019 Pixel 4. Enter the Pixel 5 with its clean, elegant design made from Gorilla Glass 6 and aluminium, which has this plastic feel, like a bioresin coating. It feels unearthly, a bit plastic and deceptively cheap, but put it in your hand and the proportions and weight of just 150 grams actually makes it feel premium and well, solid. For outsiders, if they didn't know there was an aluminium chassis under there, you would think it's actually a cheap to medium phone, not worthy of its $999 price. But pick one up and your opinion quickly changes. Looking around the phone, you've got volume up and down, power lock, USB-C, wireless charging and reverse charge capability, stereo speaker arrangement, and now due to the full screen design, an under-display speaker to provide a stereo effect because, well, there's a speaker here in the glass somehow, as well as down here. Let me give you a bit of a demo.
Open your legs at yours, baby, let's talk until we're fine. You've been in bed for days, empty without me, you say.
The stereo image is not balanced whatsoever. The bottom 4-inch speakers are doing the majority of the handling here, with the screen doing about 30 to 40%. So if you're the sort of person who actually watches YouTube videos or maybe listens to music, and this is your speaker, I would suggest to look elsewhere. Thankfully, this year, Google has nailed it with an impressive 86.75% screen to body ratio. This doesn't sound that great when compared to say a Samsung phone, but for me, I don't like or care for wraparound screens as you tend to get inadvertent touch inputs, which is a source of frustration for me. Also, being such a tall phone, it's easy to use in one hand and that I like. I'm glad that Google went with this easy to use design and screen that was bright enough to use in outdoor conditions, coming in at a reported 700 nits. That gorgeous 1080 by 2340 ultra-wide HD screen with a color depth of 24 bits is able to render 16 million colors. Plus, being OLED, it has a high dynamic range, meaning that you can get fantastic contrast between true blacks and well, any other color in between. Additionally, following the Pixel 4's successful introduction of a 90Hz refresh rate, the Pixel 5 gives you this impression of a buttery smooth performance, hiding that 765G mid-range processor. I'll talk more about performance soon, but know that the welcome price drop of this phone is due to several cuts, which I'm glad Google did. See, last year I purchased a Pixel 4 and loved my experience, mostly. Just like all Pixel phones, you get the pure Android experience, 3 years of software updates and bleeding edge features, which despite some other manufacturers claiming they'll deliver them to their handsets, seldom ever come. So the thing I love about Pixels is that they actually keep getting better over time. Sort of. And well, as you'll soon learn, the Pixel 5 has had a few trimmings since the Pixel 4. First, they lowered the internal chipset from the 800 series of last year to a 5G Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G. It seems zippy and handles app management very well, I think with thanks to the now increased 8GB of RAM. But I have noticed some stuttering when opening apps or quick switching, so if you're coming from Pixel 4, you will notice it. Next, you've got a larger 4080 mAh battery, which is a good thing. But to fit it in, they had to remove the Sol-I radar detection. Also a good thing because, well, that never actually worked properly anyway. The Pixel 5 sports a bigger battery, and I found that it easily does 5 to 7 hours of screen on time, and with about 30% left in reserve when I go to bed. My Pixel 4 barely even managed 4 hours and would need charging every day around 5 PM. Another saving was the removal of Face Unlock and Squeeze for Google Assistant, probably due to the bezel-less design and aluminium frame respectively. Instead, what you get is a well-spec'd phone with NFC and a fast, rear-mounted fingerprint reader. One of the things I love about Pixel phones is its pure OS experience, and this year there are new features unique to Pixel and Android 11. First up, there is Extreme Battery Saver. I think in response to the Pixel 4's poor battery life, whereby you give permissions to certain apps to be able to run, and all the others won't. I haven't bothered using it yet because, well, so far, battery performance on the Pixel 5 is great. Music player controls are a welcome improvement too. We've now been at the top of your slide down menu, allowing you to quickly switch between recent media streams and enable faster output selection. Thank you, Google. Whilst there are a ton of features probably worth their own video, I must note that in Australia we don't get all of them. For instance, they recently added Hold For Me, a phone feature which will notify you when a person is back online at the other end of the phone. Another feature that appeared over 2 years ago on the Pixel 3 was this, Screen Calls, and basically utilises the Pixel's built-in voice-to-text processor. Great to ward off those spam callers. While speech-to-text is available in Australia and is a very powerful tool for like meetings, maybe writing a script, who knows? But for some reason, maybe regulatory, it can't be used for telephone calls in Australia at this moment in time. Okay, time for a challenge. Put your answer below. Were these photos shot on a Pixel 3, 4 or 5? They're all shot on a Pixel 3, 4 and 5. You see, the primary shooter in the Pixel 5 is the same Sony sensor that they've used for several years now. Making a welcome return is the 12.2 megapixel primary camera with an f1.7 aperture. A new feature of the Pixel 5 is an ultra-wide camera coming in at 16 megapixels f2.2. But compared to my LG V30 ultra-wide, this one only takes in about 40% larger field of view at 107 degrees. So if you're hoping to capture some architectural pictures or different perspectives that ultra-wide lenses provide, this barely fits the bill. The front-facing camera is an 8 megapixel with a tiny lens and even tinier sensor. Capable of capturing video at just 1080p, this is fine for me as I don't care for selfies and wouldn't even begin doing video with it either. The Pixel 5 software supports all these cameras really well, and at present there are some amazing tricks it can do. For instance, you can fix the Pixel 5 to a virtual tripod. Using locked mode, the video crops in by a factor of 2, and when you hit record, whatever you're pointing at is held dead steady as though it's locked down to something. Whilst this video sample doesn't look impressive, seeing what it looks like from this perspective gives you an idea of just how good the software and iOS are doing a great job of removing unwanted motion and jitters. Stabilization is just like all other video smoothing features, again cropping things in and keeping an artificial horizon as near level as possible. Then there's cinematic pan, another take on what motorized gimbals can do by taking out unwanted shake during pan shots. It's very impressive and done at 4K 60 frames per second. So let's take a look at some audio and video samples. So this is what the Google Pixel 5 looks and sounds like with a selfie camera. And this is what the rear wide camera actually looks and sounds like. But I've had to drop it down to 1080p because, well, if I want to use the wide camera for 4K, I can't. So now we're on 4K in 1 times, or we could do 2x. And this is what this looks like, but obviously there's a bit of cropping going here on the sensor, and maybe digitally it's, I don't know. What do you think? In terms of performance, the Pixel 5 is quick to shoot, responsive to focus, and offers a lot of helpful aids like suggestions on what mode to use, level meter, and a dot circle theme so that you know when the phone is horizontal to the ground. Not forgetting its amazing night shots and astrophotography modes, which I must confess I've barely used. Another brilliant feature is portrait lighting, which enables you to fix photos in post by adding a light source that honestly looks as though it was really there. I mean, check out how the shadows are falling not only across the face, but also clothes. It's amazing and can turn an average photo into something you'll be proud to print and display. Whilst these new features are great, the Pixel 5's processor isn't up to task compared to last year's phone. If you didn't have the Pixel 4, you wouldn't know. But after taking several photos or even just one photo, waiting for Google to do its computer photography thing is a little frustrating. Color reproduction is genuine, contrast and detail great, HDR Plus and super resolution all benefit from this sensor and software combo. You'll be hard pressed to find a better made mobile phone shooter. I've been a long-time fan of the Pixel series, and this generation is excellent evolution. The Pixel 5 cameras offer dynamic and crisp pictures, better video than last year, all in a small form factor that I like. Being a compact phone, one-handed use is a breeze. The phone's proportions means that whatever you've actually seen in photos or video as looking a bit cheap, certainly doesn't feel that way when you actually get it in your hand. Couple that with the elegant and pure Android operating system, the Pixel 5 is greater than the sum of its parts. Whilst I've noted processor performance, oldish camera and, well, 1080p display, reviews which nitpicks and score the phone as being mediocre are missing the point. The Pixel 5 costs less than $1,000. For that sort of money, you would be hard pressed to find a better camera, regular software updates, support for 3 years, and well, just that pure Android experience. For me, the Pixel 5 is a great phone at the right price point and something that I would recommend to anyone wanting to own one of the best Android phones in 2020. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, consider joining me over here on Patreon. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down below and I'll try and get back to you.